I was really excited to finish one with you. I was elated to finish one with you. And when I said that the first time, some of my readers were like so disappointed. They're like, oh, like it's done, because she's done. Like, the door is closed for her, she's moving on, which means we have to close that door too, and we have to move on, even though we don't want to. We want to keep reading about these characters. And I had to explain that, yes, I'm elated. I'm sad, of course, to say goodbye to characters, although I never really say goodbye to characters. I tell readers I write in one fictional universe. So whether it's a historical or a futuristic or a contemporary or paranormal, they're all living in the same world. So the great-great-grandchildren of my historical characters will be in my contemporary novels, and their great-great-grandchildren will be in my futuristic works. They're all living together, so I never really say goodbye. And readers, of course, then never say goodbye, because we'll see them. They pop up here and there. You know, they're not the star of the show anymore, but we see them here and there. So there's not really that farewell. I'll never see you again. You know, bon voyage, have a great life. But there is that understanding that the characters have grown, they've evolved, they've reached a point in time where they can make it on their own, and they don't need me as the writer looking over their shoulder, breathing on them all the time, going, no, do it like this, try this. You know, they don't need that guidance anymore. And it's like, I've got this. You know, you've done what you can, and I'm good to go from this point. And you wish them well. And you look forward to working with the next group of people who are not that far along and desperately need your help, and you have somebody else that you can manipulate and stick your fingers in all their business and, you know, move things around, and you go, you know, that's fun. That's fun, you know, let me get into that. So you move on to the next series and you help somebody else. We talk about that, right? The writers always have a core theme to their stories, and every writer has one, and it's in every single book that they write. The first time I heard that, I was like 7 years into my career, and I'm like, I was supposed to have a theme. I don't know. I guess I didn't know that. I skipped that part. And the person who was discussing it said, no, it's there. It's always been there. You just haven't recognized it, but it has been there all the way through. You have to go back and figure out what it is. And it took me a little bit to realize that my theme is surviving. And all of my characters are recovering from something, a loss, a trauma, broken dreams, something. There's something that happened that completely altered the course of their life, and they have to move forward on the new path with more courage than they thought that they had, and a set of skills that they didn't realize they needed, but were inherently a part of them, that becomes realized because they have to take this new path. I love that, and apparently that's what I've been doing this whole time. And then once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, okay, well that's easy, because I've been doing it, I just didn't know I was doing it. Well, for me, whenever I sit down to write a book, the first thing that comes to mind is the conflict. What is the conflict between these two characters? And then I look at it and think, would the setting or the time period make this conflict even more insurmountable, or seem even more insurmountable? And if so, then I want to move it to that time period, or I want to make it paranormal, make it romantic suspense, whatever, to make it as difficult as possible for the characters to get through it. I mean, that's part of the fun of being a writer, is torturing your characters that way. And then, you know, you sit down and you jump into it in that particular time setting or period, and you just have fun with it. I love writing novellas. I wish I could write more novellas. I wish, you know, publishers were more interested in novellas, because I enjoy it so much. Because you're focusing very narrowly. Obviously, you can't have something so broad that it's not possible to fit it into the word count of 1/4 of a full-length novel. So by tightening the focus that way, you can get more drama, more intensity. It's a lot more fun, but it's also very, very rapid pace. So it's like you get started and then it's done, but you got so much done in that short period of time. I love writing novellas, and that's one of the things I love about it, is that there's not time for all of this extraneous things. You're zeroed in, you're there, and then you're done. My next series is called the Blacklist series. The first book of that will be coming out next year, so I'm really excited about that. It's set in Manhattan, so, you know, readers who are wondering, Will I ever see the Crossfire characters again? Well, considering Gideon Cross owns the majority of Manhattan, absolutely, I'm sure we'll see him around. But you know, him and Ava need some time by themselves, and they're going to have it. And in the meantime, you know, I have Kane and Lily, and their story's a bit different because with the Crossfire series, it's a very short span of time. You know, the first book, Bared to You, started in June. The last book, One With You, ended in September. It's just this drop of time in a huge bucket of time for this couple. But with Kane and Lily, we're following them over a span of years. So a very different set of questions, very different length of time, and I'm really excited about it.